organizers of the Seneca 7.
Oh, and I'm Jackie Augustine. I'm also one of the organizers.
The race started 4 years ago. Jackie and I were leaders in residence at the Centennial Center at Hobart William Smith College, and we decided to start the race as a project for the students to learn hands-on leadership skills. So the first year we had a team of about 12 to 15 students who were in charge of different tasks like awards or medical or the finish line, and they worked throughout the year to put the Seneca 7 together. And now that we're in our fourth year, we've gotten quite a following.
The first year we had 75 teams, and we thought that was spectacular because our goal was 70 teams. And then the second year we doubled and considered it sold out, so we were very excited about that. And now this year we have 222 teams coming in, and it sold out in 5 days.
Yep, and one thing we've grown as well is the number of teams that are biking. So the Seneca 7 is teams that run around the lake, but when they're not running, when the other 6 members of the team are not running, they have to have a way to get around the lake. So most teams and most relays in this country use motorized vehicles, so cars or vans, to get people around the lake. But we decided we wanted to try to make the race as sustainable and environmentally friendly as possible. So we're encouraging teams to bike during their off legs or use a more eco-friendly form of transportation to get around the lake. So doing a lot to try to support their efforts because we want to grow that facet of the race.
And that's kind of our angle with the race. I mean, our main principles, our main guiding principles are to try to make it as sustainable as possible and kind of show people different ways of race production that don't require things that are disposable and low quality, and just, you know, there are better ways to do things. So we try to infuse those principles throughout all the facets of the race. So the bike teams are just part of it, but everything we do, I mean, the shirts are made by a company that uses all recycled polyester and made in the US, milled in the US, printed with soy-based inks, and they're a B Corporation, which is a special certification for companies that do above and beyond what normal corporate practices would be to try to be sustainable and environmentally responsible.
All of our food is environmentally friendly. It's sourced locally. It's cooked locally. We have chili at the finish line, and the beef that we use is grass-fed beef from McDonald Farms over in Romulus, which is just about 10 miles away. So, and all of our service wear is compostable, and we will compost, recycle, or reuse most everything that goes into the race. We have a trash dumpster, but by the end of the day, it's very empty. So that's our goal, is to try to minimize our waste.
And this year we partnered with Rerun, which is a company that takes shoes that we would be ready to get rid of, and sends them to Africa, where local entrepreneurs repurpose them and get them out into the community. So we want to encourage people to be thinking from start to finish what they can do.
And in addition to being sustainable, one of the facets of that is local, trying to have an impact locally. And we do that in one way by partnering with nonprofit organizations in the Geneva area, and the exchange points around the lake where the runners exchange from one runner to the next. There are 20 of those, and each exchange point is manned by a volunteer group from a local nonprofit. And in exchange for their volunteer service, we make a donation to the nonprofit. So that's about 15 to 20 different groups that benefit from the race financially, and they also get to come out and cheer on the runners, and it's a neat facet for the runners as well. We also publicize their mission in the course guide, which all the teams receive. Our focus is on Seneca Lake and the Seneca Lake watershed, so we hope that by teams running around the lake and getting a very intimate look at the lake as they're running, that they develop an appreciation for it and want to preserve it for future generations. And another exciting facet of the race, I think, because I have a computer science background, is we have a race tracker that all teams participate in.
Yeah, I mean, I think the overall things that we want to make the race really unique. We think it's a unique area. We think that, you know, we love living here, and we want to showcase it in a way that people think is really clever and that they enjoy, and so that everybody has a really great time.
Yeah, and we're getting people from further and further away, so the more people we can introduce to this region, the better. And if they have a good day and have a good time running around it, that's all the better.
I'm Jim Hogan. I'm from the Geneva Bicycle Center, and this year our role in supporting the Seneca 7 is a little bit expanded. Jeff has more bike teams than he has in the past, and he's going to have all the bike teams check in here early in the morning, so we're going to have 2 of us here good and early to be able to do last-minute bike fix-ups, and if it's like last year, probably sell some last-minute warm gear like earmuffs and gloves, because people don't realize how cold it'll be in the morning. And then this year we're also going to be halfway around the lake down in Watkins Glen to be bike support. And also Jeff has instituted something that's kind of neat, like they have in a lot of triathlons, a special needs bag. It basically allows you to drop off a bunch of supplies, be it clothes or food or anything else you might need. Here with us, we'll drive it down there, we'll be at the park to do the drop. So you can take that clothing out. If you want to drop sweaty clothing in the bag or whatever, if you're warmed up, you don't need it, you can put it in there, and we'll bring it back up to the start and finish.
I'm Brian Nicholson. I'm one of the owners of Red Jacket Orchards, and we have been supporting the Seneca 7 for several years now. It's an amazing event that really brings together the community, and it's exciting to have people really, in a very in-depth way, experience the Finger Lakes by running every inch of it across the entire 77.7 miles. I personally compete in the event with a great team of people from Geneva, and I can only say it's a grueling, long day, but filled with a ton of camaraderie, and it's really the enjoyment factor of being able to cover all those miles together as a team. You really test what kind of relationships you have when you're jammed into a van for 7 hours or 12 hours and in between competing and everything else. So personally, the Seneca 7 means a lot to me because we actually get to run by a bunch of the orchards, and it's actually at the tail end of the event, and it's kind of fun to see that. I remember a couple years ago, in fact, we started out and the temperature was 26 degrees, I think, in the morning. And that was a particularly somber day for me because as I was running down the trail, I was basically watching all of our fruit freeze off the trees. And there was nothing we could do at that point except enjoy a great day running around the lake as a team. But I think what's really exciting is people have fun with this thing across the board. I think the naming your team is probably one of the highlights of the event, and starts that team camaraderie going. We actually won the top name of the event this year: Eat, Sleep, Run, and Repeat. But you'll find a lot of creative names, and having people dressing up their vans and dressing up their teams, and we make our own t-shirts, so it's kind of funny. It's those little things that give it context, and there's definitely a competitive spirit. You would think when you're looking at a 12-hour event, it's kind of hard to muster that up, but I think that's one of the fun parts too, is knowing everyone's galvanized for this day, this long day of trekking through the Finger Lakes. And going through a 12-hour day, you get basically weather of all types too, starting in the morning, going to the heat in the afternoon if you get the heat. And my hat's off to the biking teams in particular. I mean, they really do a great job, and the sustainability of that whole process is it's kind of fun to watch. We're excited to specifically sponsor the bike teams this year, knowing they've got the hardest part of the job.
There you go. Hey.
Seneca